Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John. I'm excited. We're gonna adjust the chain on this KTM 300 TBI. It's 2024, but this will apply to most other KTM and Huskies. I'm going to use this new chain guide chain adjuster, and it just inserts under here. If you have a chain guard, it won't work, but it's just going to slip in here, and I can tell this is just slightly out of spec. You start to get an eye for this, and you can see just by the sag here, it's not bad. This is actually runnable, but I'm probably like at 62 millimeters from the swing arm or something instead of the recommended 55 to 58. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start by just getting an axle nut here, socket for this nut, and loosening this. I don't need to take it all the way off. I just need to get it to where it's loose. And then we'll check the chain tension with the new chain adjuster. So here we are. We just take this little slider and put it up to the end of the swing arm and tuck it up against there, just like that. If you have a chain guard on there, it won't work, so don't buy it if you have a chain guard. Now, this is what's cool. I mean, now if you look at this, I saw that it was out of spec, and this is showing that we are slightly loose, just ever so slightly, because if we look in here, you can see how I'm above, so this would be a little loose. If you were down, so here we are, too loose. Here we are, this would be too tight, and we're shooting for this to be, you know, right in there in the middle would be in spec. So we're going to adjust this chain just slightly to where we're right there. That would be too loose, or excuse me, too tight. And we're too loose right now. That would be in spec. So I like the little visualization window. This is the best chain tensioner I think that I've found yet. Let's make the adjustment. So of course we're just going to adjust each side equally to, you know, keep the sprocket straight in the drivetrain here. So I've loosened each side off, just literally probably a half turn to 3/4 turn, and these adjusters here. And I do like these Tusk or bulletproof adjusters here. They work great. So now when I check this, if I go from the back side, if I go through the visualization window, I'm able to pull this up to where the bottom of the chain is just in there, and that's in spec. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And if I couldn't get it up in the middle, that's too tight. And if I go where I can't see it, it's too loose. So I took very little to get that in spec. And I measured this with my a ruler, and this is measured out at just the right, I think like around 58 millimeters or so. So if you have in your manual, check your manual, like 55 to 58 millimeters of chain slack is measured from the top portion of your swing arm. This will work great. You know, you can do the 3-finger method, and you know that's fine. It'll get you in the ballpark, but I like this. This gets you right on spec every time. Really easy to use. This is hands down my favorite chain adjuster so far. Or I guess you could say chain adjuster tool. And now I'm just going to take a measurement back here with a micrometer in between here and here on each side, just to make sure that I have that measurement accurate. If I didn't have these kind of axle adjusters, I would put a rag in here, and then I'll turn this backwards, and it'll snug up your other side against the chain tensioning block, so it's not giving you a false reading. So let's go ahead and finish up this adjustment. So here's a little tip. You can use a micrometer to measure, you know, between this point and this point. So here I am. I can put this in here and make sure I have it even side to side. So you got 33.8, and then if I come to the other side and measure the same spot, let's see, get it in there. we're pretty close. 33.8, so we're the same on both sides. So I'm just going to tighten down my axle bolt to torque and we'll call it good. Okay, I've got this axle nut torque down to spec. And then once I do that, I just index it so I know if it backs off. And then next time you run it, you'll know that you're in a good spot. You won't necessarily have to get your torque wrench out. So just picking up one of these micrometers at Amazon works really well, because then you can just, you know, get that a little bit more accurate back there when you're measuring how that's spaced out. Yeah, it's important to have your chain tension right, because too much chain tension will wear out your counter shaft seal, your primary drive seal here, and you'll leak oil all over this, you know, down in this area, down in here. And you can replace that seal, but it's kind of a pain. And if it's too tight, left unchecked, you can wear out some of the bearings in your transmission around that primary drive, which is very costly. Likewise, you can wear out a wheel bearing back here. If the chain's pulling on this back hub back here, can wear out that wheel bearing. So, you know, that's problematic. And then it's hard on the chain. I mean, it'll definitely put excessive wear on your chain and sprockets if that is too tight. So having proper chain tension is really important. Likewise, if it's too loose, you could risk having this chain break or come off and get wound up at here and, you know, break an engine case or something. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong if your chain is too tight, and also if it's too loose. But certainly too loose is better than too tight. So, but I like that chain tensioner. You have a KTM Husky, 300, 350, 500. That'll work really, really well for you. So keep riding and be safe, have fun. If you feel so moved, feel free to like and subscribe. I have lots more videos coming on the 300. Just going to do a video of the different things that I've done since I bought it new. Some are functional, some are more protective. Have some mapping and things I'm going to do to it. So feel free to stay tuned.